Let's review for this upcoming test. Let's start with number 1. 42 minus z over negative 2z plus 4. I want you to evaluate that when z equals negative 2. So I'm going to take negative 2 and I'm going to plug it in here for z. We're going to be super careful. 42, there already is a minus symbol, so make sure to write that. In place of z, go ahead and put your negative 2 all over negative 2 times negative 2 plus 4. Now, let's practice using our calculator. So what I'd like to do is put all of this into your calculator. We're going to put parentheses around the top and the bottom. So left parentheses, 42 minus and negative 2, close your parentheses, divided by left parentheses, negative 2 times negative 2 plus 4, close your parentheses. We're going to press enter. I got 5.5, but I want, it says reduce any answer that is a fraction. You may use decimals if they are ending decimals. So what I want is I want this to be an improper fraction. So I'm going to hit math. I'm going to hit enter. If you have the calculator in front of you, just hit enter. If not, you pick that number 1 and then hit enter. So 11 halves. We want to put things as improper fractions into our answers. So as you're typing this into Schoology, you would want to use 11 over 2. Okay, look at number 2. Let's go ahead and solve this equation. You guys are good at this. Here's why we have this on here. Do you see how we have the 6 plus 2 here? And your brain looks at 6 plus 2 and you want to automatically make that 8, but we don't want to do that. The order of operations says that we distribute that 2 first. So watch out for that. You will probably see a problem like that on your test. So 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12 equals, I'm going to write that 6, see how I didn't make that mistake. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times negative 2x is negative 4x. Now I have that 6 plus 6 on the same side, so I'm going to go ahead and write 8x minus 12 equals 6 plus 6 is 12 minus 4x. Keep going, I'm going to add my 4x to both sides. So 8x plus 4x is 12x minus 12 equals 12. We got a lot of 12s going on here. I'm going to go ahead and add 12 to both sides. Once you get down to here, you guys are so good at this part. So I get 12x equals my 12 plus my 12 is 24. Divide by 12, and I get x equals 2. So that answered the question. It asks what x equals. So in your answer key, only type in that 2. Moving on to number 3, the Literature Club is selling a storybook to raise money. The club charges $3 per book, so usually that's your 3x, and a flat rate of $45, so plus your $45 for your shipping fees. Write an equation and solve to find how many books should the club sell if they want their revenue to be $525. So 3x plus your $45 for your shipping fee equals $525. Now we're going to go ahead and to find the answer, we are going to solve this. So I'm going to subtract 45 from both sides. So I get 525 minus 45. So I get 3x equals 480. Divide both sides by 3. And I get x equals 160. And those are your 2 answers. That would be the equation that you would type in, and then you would simply type in your 160. Moving on to question 4, solve the inequality. This is an or statement. So we are going to have 2 answers here. I'm going to solve my 5x minus 6 first. So I get 5x minus 6 is less than negative 16. I'm going to add my 6 to both sides like this. So I get 5x is less than negative 16 plus 6 equals negative 10. divide both sides by 5, and I get x is less than -2. So that's one of my answers here. Let's go ahead and look at the second one. -4x is less than or equal to -20. Divide both sides by -4. When you divide or multiply by a negative, you flip that inequality. So -20 divided by -4 is equal to 0.5, which is a half, or you can hit your math, enter, enter. So the calculator does that for you. So for your answers, x is less than -2. Use only the math keyboard for that less than symbol. And then x is greater than or equal to 1/2. And then of course we want to graph. Again, same thing, math keyboard only for the greater than or equal to symbol. So it is an or statement, which means for sure that graph is not going to be the and statement graphs. Remember, and statements look like dumbbells. It is less than -2, which means you have an open circle around -2 and you graph it to the left. It is greater than or equal to 1/2, so we have our filled in circle and everything to the right. So D is the correct answer there. Number 5 is your and statement. So I have -2x plus 15 in the middle. I want to solve that for x, so I'm going to add 15 to all three parts. So -5 plus my 15 is equal to my 10, which is less than -2x, which is less than 22. Divide everything by -2, which is going to flip the inequality, but that's okay. -5, flip the inequality, x, flip the inequality, 22 divided by your -2 is -11. Except for we don't write and statements as greater than symbols, we write them as less than symbols. So your final answer would just be -11, because that's the smallest number, less than x, less than -5. You want this here to be the smallest number and this to be the bigger number. So that would be the answer right here to A. Again, it is A for question B. I'm asking you to graph it. It's not an or statement, so it's not that one. I have 2 less than, should probably not use that dot, less than symbol, so those are both open circles. This is the only option with open circles, which means it has to be D, but notice I have -11, which is your smaller number on the left and the bigger one on the right. Number 6, I want to remind you guys how to put in fractions. We are not scared of these. We're just going to type them in. 1/3 plus 1/4 equals, you're going to hit math, enter, enter. See how nice that is? 7/12. X equals 2. I'm going to divide both sides by 7/12 to get rid of it, like that. Now I have a shortcut on my calculator. I can go 2 divided by, I'm going to hit second, which is this orange key up here. And then I'm going to hit, do you see the negative key down here, how the orange says ANS? That stands for answer. So I'm going to hit that, and what that does is it does 2 divided by the answer above, so you don't have to worry about putting parentheses. It just quickens your the keys and everything that you have to type in. So you get that. I'm going to hit math, enter, enter, and you get x equals 24/7. And so in your Schoology assignment, just go, don't write the x equals, just type in your 24/7. Okay, moving on to number 7, absolute value. You have an equal sign here, so that is an or statement. This is on your ACT, so make sure you know how to do it. Remember, with absolute values, it takes whatever's inside here and makes it positive. So there could be a -21 in there, and that would make it a +21 or a +21. So that's why we have 2 choices here. So we have 3x minus 6 equals -21. That's your first equation. Or 3x minus 6 equals +21. We want to go ahead here and solve. So add your 6. So -21 plus 6 is equal to -15. Divide by 3 here. And you get x equals -5. All right, over here on this side, we're going to add our 6 to both sides. So you get your 21 plus 6 is your 27. And then you're going to divide both sides by 3, and you get x equals 9. So you're going to type into your Schoology assignment 9 and negative 5. All right, moving on to number 8. If you have a less than or equal to sign, that, remember, less than, remember, that is an and statement, so pay close attention to how you do this. You write out that 3x minus 2 is less than or equal to 4. You take the 4 and you put it on the other side, so make that negative 4, and then, of course, you move that less than or equal to sign. So now that looks like an and, right? I've got my 3x minus 2 in between two numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for x. I'm going to add 2 to all three sides, so negative 2, right? Because negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2, is less than or equal to your 3x, which is less than or equal to your 4 plus 2 is your 6. Divide everything by 3. You get negative 2/3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 2. Okay, let's do a greater than. So remember, great or. So that is an or statement, and here are the rules. You write it out once as you see it. 2x minus 5 is greater than 1. Write the word or. Write 2x minus 5. You are going to change that inequality to less than. You're going to change the positive 1 to negative 1. Go ahead and solve. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. 2x is greater than 6. Divide by 2. X is greater than 3. Or add your 5. So you get 2x is less than 4. Divide by 2. And I get x is less than 2. All right, let's move on. I'm going to do number 10, and then we will continue in the next video. Tell whether the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So we need to find the slope here. So parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite, reciprocal. So meaning if one is reciprocal, if one slope is 1/5, then the perpendicular slope would be negative 5 over 1. See what I just did? Opposite means change the sign. Reciprocal means flip the fraction. And if it's neither of those, then it's just neither. So if we look at line 1, let's go ahead and find our slope. Remember, m means slope. So that's y2 minus y1. You subtract your y values and you subtract your x values. So 8 minus 2 over 4 minus, and that's kind of hard to see there, minus 8. So plug that in, left parentheses. 8 minus 2 divided by your 4 minus 8. So math, enter here. So I get negative 3/2. That is your slope 1. And let's go ahead and find our second slope. So slope 2 is 5 minus 6 over 5 minus 8. So 5 minus 6 divided by your 5 minus 8. So math, enter, and that is positive 1/3. And gosh, those look close. It looks like it's maybe opposite reciprocals, but not quite because of this 2 and this 1. So the answer is neither. Make sure that you spell that correctly.